The end. Okay. Next, we will do Tainted Lost Greedier mode. It has to happen at some point. It has to happen. Look at the, finally, some good frickin' progress. Did you see 2 Canadian men have made it to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon? Yeah, obviously I saw. I thought you guys would never bring it up. Gonna have to delay Tuesday's stream because I made the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. It's a tough draw. I'm against Andy Murray, and you know, like beating Andy is like one thing, but beating him at Wimbledon, you know, when he's got that crowd behind him, that's another thing altogether. But I'll be doing my best. I'm just kidding. It's not me. Unless. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, someone said, did you see the guy with the sign at the Montreal Canadiens game that said, "I'm missing my child's birth to be here. Hope it's worth the price." And then they lost 6-3. I was so happy to read the comments for that and see like how much like cultural norms have changed even over the course of my very, you know, well, not very, but relatively short time on planet Earth so far. So I feel like in the 90s, people would have brought that up and been like, well, you know, hey, don't worry, I won't tell the missus if you don't. But to be fair, in the 50s, they would have been like, of course you're missing your child's birth. You know, you're not the one having the kid. In the 90s, they would have been like, wink, wink, your secret's safe with me. Now, in 2021, everyone's like, that dude is an asshole. Even if it is a little bit of a joke, you're like, that picture lives in infamy. I love it. Hope it's worth the price. Literally, probably the tickets also cost him like $5,000, but then on top of that, his team got frickin' bodied, which I take no pleasure in. I would much rather Montreal win, but turns out it was not worth the price. Yeah, in literally like any sense of the word whatsoever. It is also very weird. You're not wrong. Like, as someone who was like at the birth of my first child, that's not something you want to miss for a couple of reasons. First off, it's like way more life-changing than Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals, especially when your team is almost certainly going to get swept. And then secondly, whatever. Secondly, you know, your partner is going through like the most stressful thing you could ever possibly imagine. You know, she's squeezing a human being out of her birth canal. I apologize if you take that as being like gross. Like it's just what's happening. I phrased it in like the literal, like the most scientific way you could. I didn't. If you think that's how that's the gritty details, you're not ready for the reality of the situation. But at 1 million subscriber milestone, maybe I'll show you the photos we took in the operating theater. Just kidding. Those are tied to a dead man's switch connected to my pulse. If my pulse ever goes to 0, they get wiped from my cell phone. Anyway, like, I just can't imagine even phrasing it, like, to your spouse or your partner. Like, hey, honey, I know you're, like, about to have this kid, and it's our first one. It's gonna change our lives forever. You're gonna be in the hospital, and, like, it's a serious event. Like, complications can happen. Even if they don't happen, there's tons of, like, little stresses. You know, just, even when we had the baby, like, you know, like 12 hours later, like an audiologist comes in, puts headphones on your baby and is like, yo, this shit fire, check it out. And then, you know, they're trying to see if the baby has a reaction. And we had to wait like a little bit longer than expected to see if she had a reaction to the audio. So we were like, oh my God, we might have like, our baby might have like some hearing issues. She might actually be deaf. And then the audiologist was like, she's good, don't worry about it. But, you know, it's the kind of thing you want to be there for your spouse, you know, when they're going through. You don't want them, like, they're already going through you know, some physical pain and trauma. Then on top of that, there's all these like little anxieties, and you know, you're learning how to change a diet. You know how many times like I pressed the button to call the nurse in when we were staying in the hospital? Literally, I became like a 5-year-old kid again. I like hit the button and then call the nurse in, and they're like, yeah, what's the problem? And I'm like, I don't know, she's making like a weird noise. And then they come in and they're like, oh yeah, she's just got like some mucus in her lungs, it's normal. It's crazy, man. You're gonna miss that for like a hockey game? Are you stupid? Anyway, I get the answer is yes. And then they lost. Although I will, you think it happened like when he came home, or when he like called his wife? He's like, aren't you gonna ask me how my night was? 'Cause it fucking sucked. Carey Price had an 836 save percentage. No, I know, like, yeah, I'm sure you went through stuff, but like, I mean, you weren't there. Cernak freaking bodied us. He's one of the best two-way players of his generation. And then Danault couldn't even keep Kucherov off the score sheet. Fair enough. Anyway. It was a long night. I knew it was over after the first period anyway. Oh! Look. Dada. 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 Oh, look at this. Dada. Dada. Look at this cutie. Nice hat, too. Dada. Hey. Okay.
We're gonna go out.
Okay. Have fun. Have fun, honey.
You gotta go.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, Tomo is like, I have to escape.
Oh, she got spooked.
Brr.
Not that time.
Brr. Okay, honey. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Daddy.
It was like perfect comedic timing. Dada. Yo, thank you for the raid, Daniel. We were just talking, Dan. Would you? What do you think of this guy? You're gonna love this story. We can talk about it on Wednesday as well. There was a guy who went to the Montreal Canadiens game, game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and his sign said, "I'm missing the birth of my first child for this. Hope it's worth the price." And Price is the name of the Montreal Canadiens goalkeeper. And then Montreal lost 6-3. Oof. Any thoughts on this guy? And how his spouse might react to this? Hey, Dirk Dangle, thanks for the gifted subs. Have a nice life, bud. Dude, it's so good. Tampa's like BMing too. Like, because the border's closed, the family members of the Tampa Bay Lightning can't get to Canada in order to watch the game in person in case their team wins the Stanley Cup. So the Tampa mayor said, like, at a press conference, was like, "Oh, just let him win the next game so you can win when you bring or when you come home for Game 5." Just like a, like, I'm not insulted by it. It's just hilarious. Like, I mean, it's sports at the end of the day, but like, it's so confident. They're like, "Oh yeah, just give him Game 5 so you can win at home, please." So good. What an insult, man. Anyway, they're almost certainly gonna win. I did see. I know you love the investment talk, Dan. I did see if you put $1,000. Oh my god! Not like this run is great to begin with, but if you put $1,000 on the Lightning to lose the Stanley Cup Finals, the payout at Canadian sports betting books is $10. Literally like a 1% gain. But then I was like, you know what? Hey man. Oh, come on. To win, I should say. To win is you get $10. Not to lose. I was like, you know what? A 1% gain in like 4 days? That's pretty good. That's it's not a free lunch, I guess, but that's not so bad.
Holy car.
Okay, we have a real item now. We can start to practice here. We can actually pay attention now. I also didn't realize, did you know, I always thought, like, let me put it this way. I thought the casinos set the odds. So I thought, in theory, if the casinos set the odds really stacked in one direction, and then, like, so many people put bets on one side of the equation, the casino could actually have a disproportionate payout and maybe even, like, go out of business. I've only recently found out that, like, actually the casino wins no matter what, because the, I mean, obviously, with respect to, like, every game, they win, but the more that gets stacked on one side of the bet, the more the odds move in favor of that. And as a result, the casino always ends up taking, like, a fairly similar rake. And the only people who lose are the people who bet on the losing side. I didn't know that it was almost like, well, I knew it was a prediction market in the strictest sense of the word, but I didn't know that, I don't know, like it auto balances or whatever. Please? I gotta step on the button more. I mean, I'm not a sports gambler. I have bet on 2 hockey games in my life, but in general, I'm like, oh, really? I was on the rock! I was in the pool! Of course the house always wins, but like, I'm not that well versed in sports betting. Because I'm like, you know, Han Solo, close your ears, okay? I think there's more fun ways for me to lose money, I guess, over time. Like eating, for example. $0.15. I could use a tiers upgrade. Why not? Who you got in the NBA Finals? Great question. So it's Milwaukee against Phoenix? Come on, man. It's all Phoenix. All the way. Guaranteed. Wait, is Giannis back? By the way, who's Giannis? Did you see the introduction that Joey Chestnut got at the Nathan's hot dog eating competition? I can't even repeat it because it's 90 seconds long and it's so dramatic. It's like, what? It's a guy in, like, one of those old-timey, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, one of those hats that you wear at the Kentucky Derby that you could stuff, like stock picks into the brim. And the introduction to the speech that they gave this man is just like, how blessed are we to live at the same time on the same green earth as this legend, the Sultan of Succulence, sent down from heaven above. And like it literally goes on for 2 minutes, and then he goes, Joey Chestnut. It's crazy, man. How dramatic it is for Agatha. Dude, they played a 30 for 30 on competitive eating at Applebee's. I almost threw up. Competitive eating, look, is very impressive. It's also hilarious to me. I'm not gonna say like it's any more arbitrary than like, oh, we shot a sphere through a hoop, you know, or slid a puck into a net, you know. But it is just an implicitly kind of hilarious sport. I'm not saying it shouldn't be a sport, merely that it's funny. I would like to, we'll start with a key. After that, I'm buying these cards, man. I'll say it shouldn't be a sport. Yeah, but like, I mean, it's not any less weird than like golf, you know? You're just hitting the ball into a little hole. Okay. What, it's, well, I don't know. Is it more wasteful? I mean, it's more wasteful from a food context, but at the same time, like, you know, golf is a really wasteful... I mean, is it not more wasteful than, like, you know, the amount of energy that goes into putting on, like, a National Football League game? Like, this, I don't even want to know, man. It's probably like having 10 microwaves on at once. Hanged Man makes a crawl space. It's incredible intel. Thank you. Don't hurt me! Okay, we need the holy card. Wait, I had a good bit, man. I forgot what happened to it. Excuse me, where's my crawl space, by the way? It does not make a crawl space. World makes a crawl space. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We scroll, we scroll, we scroll. Hanged Zephyro. Hanged Man question mark is a crawl space. I click on your name. This is pretty crazy, I'll be honest. You've been following for 7 years. You've left 19 messages in chat. That's an incredible amount of discipline, quite frankly. I'm not being facetious. 19 messages in 7 years. You have sent a frowny face. As a result of your contrition, you are not trunked. Everybody makes mistakes, myself included. Enjoy the rest of the stream without any penalty or recompense. Spared. And we give it to you. The people. I did. So this is like extraordinarily punching down, but on the subject of wastefulness, I was like, every once in a while when I like truly hate myself, I go to r/movies and browse by new while I'm having a bowel movement, and I saw a thread that was called like the ethics of blockbusters, and it was just the person was like, hey, I'm in my 3rd year of like film studies at school, and I just had like a cold sweat run down my spine, wondering if like it's societally good that we spend so much money on blockbusters when there's like other problems going on in the world, you know? Like people are hungry, people are unhoused, and you know, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I mean, that's not the right kind of thing to blah blah blah, but you know what I mean. I'm like, okay, you're not wrong, but also like, this is hell. I'm like, what's your, that's not like how it works. These are all so good, but this is the best. He's not wrong, but touch grass. That's kind of what, I don't mean to be rude, but that is kind of what I meant. Where I was like, it's not like, you know, Skydance Entertainment is either going to spend $80 million on a movie, or they're like gonna, you know, buy a bunch of canned food. I think you go heavy on the cards. Devil makes enemies take more damage. Magician, nobody cares. Death, it's not bad actually, but okay, fair enough. This is how you play as Tainted Lost. Devil gives you the Bible effect? You sure? You sure you're not gonna get trunked here? If you say so. I can't, you know, you have strength in numbers on this one. I can't check everybody's chat history. Because if you Naruto run, they can't get us all. They can't stop us all. If we Naruto run, we can dodge the bullets. Cards. Ay, a little rude. A little. I almost dodged into it, man. You know what it is? Is you ever see Canada's Worst Driver? This was taught to me in my driving lessons as well. They say, you know, when you're driving and you're trying to avoid something, the number one thing, and it's a little counterintuitive in the moment, but it makes sense, you know, outside of the emotional moment. The number one thing is don't look at it. If you look at the thing you're trying to avoid, you target fixate and like subconsciously steer into it. That's what happens to me and Isaac all the time. I look at where the enemy is, and then especially if they shoot bullets like peep in 6 directions, I go like, I'm like, I'm gonna dodge, and then I look at the bullet and I'm like, oh. And the thing is, he don't even run out of the going back in time juice or nothing. Shit's stupid as hell, man. Well, that was easy. Yo! Oh. I see Canada's Worst Driver. I watch his Twitch stream every weekday. Hi-yo! In all honesty, I don't have a sensitivity about my driving. If they made a show that was like Canada's most average driver, I think I would be a great candidate. I have never been in a car accident. I have made mistakes while driving, but no, I've never been in a car accident. I get anxious when I'm parallel parking sometimes, and every once in a while, even with a backup camera, I gotta adjust a couple of times on the way now and then. But I think that's pretty average. That's about it. That's all I got. I got no negativity there. Yo, you're right. Mom's purse is a potential respawn here. And we save the rest of our money for cards in the future. Yes. This is a good run. I will become back my money. Oh, I don't even get me started on driving, but you already got me started on driving. I get upset. I get upset now and then when I'm driving. George, I don't know why I get upset. You know what I was thinking about Seinfeld the other day? So last night, I made a delicious barbecue chicken thigh in the air fryer. Came out, you know, sticky. And then that barbecue sauce got like a little charred, which is great. You get the sweetness, but also like the slight bitter of the charred barbecue sauce, but it wasn't overcooked, and I was like, this is fantastic. But I also made like some sauteed kale alongside it. I sliced up an entire bunch of kale, and I was like, this is way too much kale. Then I cooked that in the pan, and within 3 minutes, it went from this big to like this big, because that's how green vegetables work when you pan fry them. And just in my head, I was like, I was in the pool for like an hour. That's all I could think about was, does she know about shrinkage, Jerry? The kale was, I was in the kale. His brain is wild? I know, man. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I do get mad when I'm driving from time to time. Honestly, like the city, anybody else here live in the city? Frick you, dude! It always stuns me, like, in the city, there's not much... Goodbye. Parking. You know, and it might surprise you, but if you, like, live in, Let's check this item room real quick. If you live in the country or you live in the suburbs or something like that, You don't even know how lucky you got it in some ways. When you go to the grocery store, I bet you park in a parking lot and you don't have to pay for parking. Which I think makes a lot of sense because you're like using, please, the, please? You're using that business's facilities, so of course you don't have to pay for parking. It would be stupid if you had to. In the city, so many grocery stores just don't have parking. And then, if they do, you have to pay. No. Saved. And then they'll give you a refund sometimes. Like if you go to the cash register and you're like, I have parking, they're like, okay, take $2 off of your bill here or whatever. Just looking for a holy card if you don't mind. I forgot what I was even talking about a second ago. Anyway, long story short, so oftentimes you'll find like, you know, street parking. Or you'll try to find street parking. If I genuinely think there's like a, you know how sometimes you can use like a fungal network to determine like the most efficient way to outlay things in space? Just bear with me here for a second because I understand like what I just said makes literally no sense. But that's kind of how I feel about like street parking. Is like if as soon as you open up street parking, it's full. I want to see like how it happens. Like you'll drive around like Vancouver, you will never see an open parallel parking spot. They fill instantly. And I'm like, it's the most efficient system I've ever known. Hold on. Anyway, I didn't finish my train of thought, but yeah, it's like an ant colony. Exactly. Saved. Okay. I think you do take euthanasia. We don't need this, and the reroll could be Pog City. The reroll was Pog City. Oh, thank you. Holy card. Holy farkin' shirt balls. No, don't blow up the donation machine. You just get over there, man. Bro, just... Yo, 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 yo. Oh, dunk. Just get me out of here, man. I'm not taking that because I know it's not almond milk, but what if it is, dude? What if it is? Take the item, hello? Hello, dumb dog viewer spotted in the wild? That's Buddy in a box? Yeah, but what if Buddy in a box is like a freaking almond milk, man? Hello? Okay, we out here. I'm so sorry for giving you bad intel. No, it literally is just a joke. It's all good. I found it hilarious. Now, this is an interesting situation, huh? Spin down Tainted Lost is like a... it's an interesting situation. Someone get on the wiki. Does any of this... Does the D8 spin down into something incredible? Does the stapler spin down into something incredible? You know what? Stapler... No, spin down Isaac Repentance list. Spin down dice. Please tell me there's a table. Okay. Rerolls notable because the items rerolled into are very powerful. D8. Stapler. Shears. They have not made the notable list. This is gonna be a nightmare, man. I'm gonna have to leave that wiki open, which means like 100%. I've got like some ad playing in the background right now for like gain flings or something like that, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Rip memory. Why not just use the mod? You really expect me not to push you up against the mod? It was horrible. They feed you gruel. We don't sweat it, man. Took a little damage. We don't sweat it. It happens. Well, in that case, I believe I have my stapler. Wait, man. We don't need the stapler. Well, it is pretty good. All right, I'm going to take the stapler. I'm going to fish for a reroll to see if there's a card. That's quite interesting, quite delightful. Goodbye. Not goodbye, I lived. Oh, I'm alive! I'm dead again! I'm gonna slash mark that one and just call it sniped. And then I'm gonna go to the bathroom, honestly.